Hello, this is Halldor Helgason, and you're listening to the Not Snowboarding podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, to those among you who are easily frightened, we suggest you turn away now. To those of you who think they can take it, we say, welcome to the madhouse.
I'm probably the least competitive person you could ever find. So contest and being serious about getting first place or last place, I do not care about that. For me, for contest, for example, my mindset was like this, like I go there, I get the opportunity to ride like really sick park and hopefully send it, try something new. And as long as I survive, I'm pumped, you know. It doesn't matter if I get first or last place.
Welcome to the madhouse.
Welcome to episode number 46 of the Not Snowboarding podcast. I'm your host, Nate Musan. I have to say a huge thanks to Clovis Scotty. Clovis is a podcast listener that reached out asking how he could help donate to the podcast directly. We've heard this request a couple of times now, and some people say that they forgot to use the Amazon banner ad before shopping on Amazon, or that it doesn't work in their country at all. But they still really want to help support what we're doing. Frankly, I've always felt a little weird about asking for a donation, but we've had enough people ask that over the past few months, I've decided to add a PayPal button and a Bitcoin button if you're a cryptocurrency nerd like me to the support page of the site. Also, I've added a page where you can purchase the podcast die-cut stickers, and we'll be adding other products to the site in the near future as well, like podcast t-shirts and hooded sweatshirts. So thank you, Clovis, for pushing us to add the donate button, and thank you so much to everyone that's already made a donation this way. We're so honored and humbled that listeners would give us their money, and we'll do our best on our side to keep up our end of the deal and continue to bring interesting conversations. Also want to thank Sarah Mark, or as Sarah is known on Instagram, Snowboard Yoga Girl. Sarah runs a company called Copycat Yoga Mats, and she's outfitted both AJ and I with her yoga mats, which for me couldn't have happened at a better time because I'm occasionally teaching yoga at my local gym. And her mats have a ton of the yoga moves printed right on the mat, so when I'm leading a class and I totally blank out on what to do next, I can just look at my mat and pick a pose. They're also super good for someone that's just getting into yoga, because the mats have the hand and foot placements outlined for the poses on the mat as well. Both AJ and I thank you, Sarah. Check out her mats at copycatyoga.com. Finally, before we get into today's episode, I've been getting tons of requests for the new Shred Soul skateboarding insole. I've been testing them along with some of the team riders, Nick Geeson, and a couple other people. And we really want to make sure that these would be beyond perfect when they launch. So we made a couple of final changes before going into production, which pushed the timeline back a bit. And now we're looking at launching right around the holidays. It was, for me, a really hard call to make because I didn't want to push the timeline that far out. But the end result, I think, will be worth it. The insoles really are the best balance of board feel, comfort, stability, and impact resistance. Plus, they look really cool too. So Halldor, as you probably know, the last episode was with his older brother, Eiki, and we had the unique challenge of trying to make sure that we didn't cover a ton of the same information, which could have happened easily since they're best friends and business partners. But with a lot of help from their manager, Christoph, I think we pulled it off. In the discussion with Halldor today, we get right into his alter ego and his new clothing company, Atrip Apparel. We also hear his thoughts on Nike, and we discuss his new video project that will be launching at the end of October with Sage, and it'll also be airing in December on ABC. Halldor, as you may know from his alter ego, very much has two sides. There's the fun-loving, creative snowboarder that likes to keep it loose, as he says, and there's the party animal that likes to push the boundaries for a laugh. That said, a little bit of the conversation toes into some pretty crazy territory. Maybe this warning from the 2012 movie A2M that we discuss in the podcast would be appropriate. Warning, this movie, or podcast in this case, is not for sensitive people that can't handle nudity, puke, shit, and a bunch of other funny stuff. Make sure you have it on max volume and a lot of alcohol if you're old enough for that. Let the party begin.
Now let the story begin.
Is this Captain Harold?
I think so.
The captain? We got the captain with us?
Yeah.
I know Captain
I'm not Captain Harold because I'm sober right now, you know?
Oh, okay.
Tell
I'm
us,
only Captain Harold when I'm drunk.
how did Captain Harold come about?
I don't know. It's just I was started to wear that captain beanie that we did with Hobby Podla, and then all of a sudden the Captain Harold name just got stuck on me because I always party with that hat on, and so now I'm pretty much stuck in the Captain Harold role when I'm drunk.
How is Captain Harold different?
I don't know. He's a little bit more loose, I believe.
Mm.
Yeah, probably, classic drunk style. Yeah, I don't know.
What's the funniest thing Captain Harold's ever done?
Damn, that's a heavy question straight away here, huh?
Nate pulls no punches.
I don't know. I think Captain Harold has a lot of forgotten memories, a lot of good forgotten memories, but so I don't know. There's not like one really highlight, to be honest. There's way too many good moments there.
Right on. Well, thanks for taking the heavy question right off the bat. We're super excited to talk with you. And AJ, did we just lose you? We're having some Skype troubles. AJ? Halldor?
Can everyone hear each other now?
I can hear you now. I was just saying I missed like most of the ferry story. I just heard like a little bit about a ferry and some partying.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. It wasn't that impressive.
We were talking about like, yeah, essentially you get to take boats around Europe, and that's like a chance to party with everyone and meet people.
It's not like a thing that we do all the time, but yeah, I guess you can.
It's a pretty cool thing though. Like I always have fun when I get to do that. Take a ferry between places.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Maybe it's just not something I do here. I mean, if if I go travel around the U.S., it's either by plane or car. Rarely like a bus or a train. So it's
yeah. I mean, yeah, you guys drive all over the place, man.
We always drive.
It's always the straight roads that like never end.
It's a car culture here. The last ferry I took was $70 to go like, I don't know, just a few miles. You could almost see the other place that it was going. Did the ferry you were on, was there a charge for that? Yeah, for sure. But it's cheap though, and you get your own like small bedroom and stuff. It's pretty sick. So if you're
like 4 bunk beds,
Sounds like a cruise. People go on cruises here, but it's not like they're not traveling, I guess, to go somewhere. It's like you're on the boat, and that's like the experience. Yeah, typically. Shit. Maybe it is a little bit more of a cruise, actually, when I think about it. It's kind of like in between a ferry and a cruise or something, probably. Oh, okay. But yeah, but it's just to get like from Stockholm to Finland, pretty much. Yeah. So you're like traveling. Was that for snowboarding, or is that just you've done that for other things? Yeah, we did it 2 times when we were filming rails in Stockholm, and then we went to Helsinki to film there. So it was sick, man. And we brought like the RV onto the boat as well. Oh, so you had all the supplies and everything ready to go. Yeah. Roll out. It's really sick, actually. Do you like being like filming and riding in Europe more than in America? Is that like it just depends, like for rails and stuff like that, like street stuff. I definitely rather film in Europe somewhere, just because like the bus factor is like probably like half as high in Europe, and especially in Scandinavia. Like it's so mellow with getting busted here. Like people don't really care as long as you're not like destroying something. Like people are fine with it as long as you're like nice to them as well. But in the US, damn, I gotten kicked out in like so many places. Like just like normal rails and stuff you get kicked out of. So it's a lot harder compared to
to Europe to film rails, I would say.
Have you ever had any like bad situations in America where people freaked out at you and like were the cops called?
Yeah, I mean, we had the cops a bunch of times for sure, but it's always just ends up like with kicking us out, you know, nothing more than that. But like we tried to do street stuff in where was it, Breckenridge one year, and we got kicked like four times in one day or something. Like there was just no way of doing anything there. Which is weird. I would have thought that they would be like down with it because it's like a full on like snowboarding town, you know. But they were not down.
Yeah, I think those places they're weird. They're not like, I've heard in Summit County, you know, cops will take your camera and your snowboard.
Yeah, man, that's insane.
And it's like, well, we got a big snowboard hill for you to do that, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, true.
I think a lot of times, like public, you know, if it's public land, public property, it's, you know, it's, you can be able to interpret it in different ways, and you're just essentially your artist interpreting it in a different way.
Yeah, but we don't really have that the private property thing too much here. You know, like in the US, I feel like if you get hurt on somebody's private property, you can pretty much sue them, right?
Yeah.
You kind of could, even though like they wouldn't have known you were there.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think it doesn't really go down here, I feel like, the whole suing part of things.
Oh, so people are a lot more mellow.
Especially, yeah, with suing and stuff like that. I don't think that really goes down too much, to be honest.
Okay.
Not like in the US, it feels like.
Yeah, so that makes it a little easier to go snowboarding there.
Has a cop in the US ever looked at your ID and then kind of threatened you off of that?
No, they've always been pretty mellow, actually.
You need to come to Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah? Why would, what's going on there?
Every time I've been in trouble for skateboarding or snowboarding there, they'll look at my ID and go, "Oh, you're from outside of the city. If we take you to jail, you're going to be there for 3, maybe 4 days."
What?
Yeah. They just like, they're gangsters, man.
Fuck. That's so random. Yeah.
So it's tough. It's a struggle out here.
Yeah, I know. Like it's definitely a little bit different. That's for sure. But I mean, we did rails in Japan this year, and that was really, really hard. Even harder than the US, actually. Like we got kicked out like so many times, and one day, like one of us didn't bring their passports with them, so we got like the police came and like full on followed us back to the hotel. Like there was a police car in front and behind us, drove all the way to the hotel again, and then followed the guy up to his hotel room just to get his passport. So they're like not kidding around over there.
I've heard the Japanese are pretty xenophobic.
Xenophobic? What's that?
They don't like foreigners. You know,
yeah,
like they're...
But they're so nice. They're like the nicest people. But then like as soon as there's something going on that they don't really understand or like seems kind of not okay to do, they just like call the police straight away.
I have a friend who was trying to fly out of Japan after snowboarding there, and he had his girlfriend's, I think it was like Adderall in his bag, and he had to spend almost 3 months in jail in Japan for trying to fly with this prescription medicine that wasn't his.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, there was a while where he thought he was going to be there even longer. You know, it could have been an even longer sentence. That was just the holding period before they would talk to him and kind of get him into the legal system.
Fuck, that's insane, actually.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll come on and...
No joke.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll come on and tell that story sometime. I don't know how much I can say about it.
No. Shit. Yeah,
you gotta be careful.
It's not easy. It's not easy out there, you know?
No.
The struggle. It sounds like Europe's the promised land.
It does.
For rails. I would recommend it for rails, at least.
Okay.
Speed rails.
So what does one have to do to gain access to the Special Interest Club?
It depends, man. You just have to be down with Atrip pretty much, and then you're into the special interest club.
And what does that do for me? I mean, does that get me girls? How is this going to improve my life?
Of course, you're going to get way more girls that way. And it's just a insane club to be in, And it's going to be like, I don't know if you have any idea about it or not, but it's like the theme of the brand for Atrip. And the idea behind it is to have it so you can, like, how, like, Asphalt Yacht Club, for example, do their stuff. Yeah. So the theme behind the brand is just the yacht club. I wanted to do something like similar, but being able to like keep it open though on the same time, so we can change it up like different interests every year. And I don't know, it can be whatever, like different club every year,
And what's the interest this year?
This year it was just because it was kind of last minute everything, so we decided to just do it easy and do like the interest is just everything that I'm doing for the first year, and then the next upcoming year is going to be like a RV life. Because RVs are the sickest thing ever. There's going to be some sick stuff coming up for that for sure.
So if you're a member of the Special Interest Club, are you seeing like emails or private updates or access to?
You get like exactly. You get like news from Atrip and special deals and and just you stay updated on what's going down.
Is there a membership lounge where people can meet up at some point?
In the future, there's going to be a heavy Special Interest Club lounge for sure.
What will be in the lounge? What will be some?
Yeah. No, you guys got to go on the side and subscribe to the Special Interest Club, then you'll know what's going down.
Oh, okay. We're not in the club yet, Nate.
No, man, you got to get in there.
I've been trying. I guess that my email wasn't cool enough.
Step your email game up, Nate.
No, I heard some of you guys was like interested in if it was going to be like black metal.
Yeah.
Black metal club. Yeah, maybe 1 year. We'll see.
So this is a cool thing because you're not just putting an apparel company out there and saying, hey, buy this shit I've screened some t-shirts and here's some stuff. You're building a group of people and kind of making it a little bit different. Where did the idea to do things differently with this company come from?
I don't know. I just wanted to do something with more of a theme behind the brand, And I felt like this was a perfect way of doing it and keeping it like really loose on the same time. I don't know. Just me and Chris, my agent, we talked about it and like we both thought it was a sick idea. And together with the Stigma distribution guys that we were doing it with. So everybody thought it was a cool idea and decided to go all in on it.
What's your favorite piece?
It's only the beginning right now,
What's your favorite piece in the line so far?
It's probably the Lucky jacket, the coach jacket. So
what do you like about it?
That's the one I used most of the season.
Gotcha.
Oh shit.
Yeah, what's up? You hearing us?
Sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. Someone knocked at my door. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
AJ lives in a motorcycle garage, so he probably had some bikers coming
There's
over.
motorcycle parts. Good, how are you? Oh, bring it in. Huh? No, sorry, I just wasn't here. Yeah.
Damn, what's going on over there?
I think he lives with Bobby Warse, the skateboarder, and it sounds like Bobby got some motorcycle parts delivered.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what is it about the coach's jacket that you like so much?
Thank you. Have a good one.
It's like a little bit more high-class coaching jacket. It's just like, it has a zipper, but you can zip it up as well, so you can ride it full on, like Mexican style, like I like to call it. And it has a pocket for the iPhone as well. And it's just like a little bit more high-class coach jacket, so it's really rideable, but it still looks the same as, just a classic coach jacket. Right,
it doesn't have the pocket in the cheap ones where you open the pocket up and it's just access to the liner. It's not really a pocket.
No. It's like it has like zippers there for the main pockets.
Awesome.
That's essential. That's crucial.
It's just a little bit more high class, so you can like ride in it more, in a resort or wherever you are.
The zipper pockets that's essential for snowboarding, at least.
I think so too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I'm really pumped on the whole Atrip thing. It was just such a good opportunity that I got for. Do you guys know the Sigma distribution, guys?
Oh, we don't. What is?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing like outerwear, their own brand, Horse Feathers. It's called.
Oh,
like,
yeah. We know Horse Feathers from the Czech
Yeah.
Republic. They do the big rail jam in the Czech.
Yeah, exactly, man. So yeah, I got the sick opportunity to do this thing with them, and so yeah, I'm really pumped on how everything is turning out here.
How is like from working on your other brands? How do you bring that into like a new brand? Is there a lot that you've learned, and there's things that like, okay, this is what I want to do, knowing all this, bringing it into something new?
I mean, you learn like new stuff from. I've been learning new stuff with the company since we started Hoppy Podla. They're yeah. I mean, fuck. I don't know. It's hard to say. You learn new stuff all the time when you're doing these companies. Fuck. What were you asking again?
No, that was basically. I mean, when you launch a new brand, you've had obviously other brands. Hopi Pola and 7913 and Lobster and so that's like, okay, I know this, these brands do like this, I want to start something new, so yeah,
okay, now I know what you mean. Like that's from like doing Hopi Podla, 7913 and Lobster and Switchback. I kind of with the Atrip I wanted to do something like a little bit more mellow. Like nothing too crazy, or just like an easy name that you remember straight away. And like I don't like the crazy outerwear anymore. I mean, I used to love that stuff back in the days, of course, but but now I just want like normal, nice looking stuff that you can like wear both like in the streets and in the mountain. I don't like to change my gear up too much, so like I don't know. That was kind of the easy behind, like the idea behind Atrip, just to have it like super mellow, but still a cool brand somehow.
I think it does, and I think that's a wise move. And you're going into a space where there's not a ton of other competition. There's a lot of outerwear companies, right? You could have said, "Hey, I want to do an outerwear company," and now all of a sudden you're competing with everyone from Columbia to North Face to every snowboard company that has their own jacket and pants. But there's not a lot of companies doing kind of just one layer down from outerwear, like good shit that you can snowboard in well and has just little thought put into it about, where your phone goes, and maybe a little bit of waterproofing. There really isn't a ton of that. And guess what? Where most kids are riding, like that's kind of what they're wearing anyways. There's not kids hitting street rails and full on outerwear.
Yeah, exactly, man. So yeah, that's pretty much like the rough idea behind it. And
I was super excited to see it because that's like, I wear like a coach's jacket most of the time, or if it's a hoodie, then a coach's jacket. So have something a little more functional would be pretty sick. You listen to the people, and you made something for the people.
Yeah, exactly. And it's this exactly the stuff that I myself am stoked on as well. So.
Has that been the sickest thing about having your own brands, that it's like, this is completely what I want to put out there and I want to ride and make, and not just like trying to pick from what a brand has?
The sickest thing with having your own like companies and stuff, like all the hard work you put into it and stuff like that, you have like the opportunity to get that paid, or like get the rewards for it straight back to yourself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think that's like one of the coolest things. Like all the hard work you put into it, you can get it back to yourself. So in a way, you know what I mean?
Has there ever been a challenge with balancing the interests of the sponsors that you don't control? So like a GoPro or an energy drink company, have you ever felt like they were concerned about you working for your companies more so than them?
No, everybody has just been super pumped so far and like really supporting everything that we're doing. So nothing yet, at least, and I don't think there's going to be much problem coming in the future since it's it's been mellow so far.
Good. What's a day in the life on the business side look like for you?
Damn, just a lot of emails back and forth, and I mean, like we have like obviously like good business people that take more care of the business side of everything. And me and Eiki are more like doing the image and like doing the designs or like the rough designs and like just telling exactly how we want everything, you know? It's a lot of just giving feedback to everything that we're like doing, you know? Making sure it's all going in the right way.
Is there ever, do you ever run into issues with like how a brand, because you're mostly based in Europe, is there an issue with how a brand's perceived in Europe compared to United States or somewhere else?
What do you mean? Sorry.
So like a brand, like maybe, I don't know, Lobster, or do people look at it really differently in Europe or America? And do you like have to figure out, okay, how to, I want it to be perceived in a certain way, so how do I market to these different places?
Yeah, for sure, man. And we kind of had like the problem with, for example, Lobster in the beginning. A lot of people kind of just took it all as a joke, so it's kind of hard to get out of that for people and get people to actually take Lobster serious, especially in the US. And I mean, just with all like the crazy graphics we did in the beginning and stuff, people thought we were just kind of like fucking with everything. But it's definitely a real brand, and like we're really serious about it, and we're just learning more and more like what works and what you can't, like what's okay and what's not okay, and like, but still doing it in the way that we're stoked on. You know, we don't want to go too classy like everybody else is doing, so we try to keep it loose, but loose in a good way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I say this all the time, is like image and graphics, it seems like too tame, too boring, uninspiring. It doesn't seem like that authentic. And at least with something like Lobster, it seemed way more authentic to who you guys are. And
that was for sure what we were going for. And like me and Eiki are both like really inspired by skateboarding. We both started skating.
Yeah.
So we've always been like super down with all the nasty graphics that they got there, and like our humor and everything. Like it is kind of like nasty in a way, I guess you could say. And so that's why the first sports we did were like pretty extreme. But we kind of learned like throughout the years that like people love like the nasty stuff, like the crazy graphics and all that, but they love talking about it. But they're not they're not gonna buy it though. You know what I mean? It's like a cool thing to talk about, but it's not the thing that somebody's gonna buy. Really, you know what I mean? It's what we learned over the years.
It's definitely a specific group of people. Even if I'll wear certain things, or I used to like write stuff on certain places, like I'm like still a pretty big Odd Future fan, and I wrote like on my helmet, kill people, burn shit, fuck school, and you'd be surprised like how many people are like, yo dude, that's not cool, bro. And I'm like, what do you fucking mean? Like,
see, I'm so down with all this stuff, but also the difference with a snowboard graphic and the skateboard graphic, for example, is that I mean, your nasty skateboard graphic is gonna pretty much disappear in the first day you skated.
Yeah.
You know? It costs like what? Like, how much does a skateboard cost nowadays?
$45.
$50-$60, something like that. Yeah.
And the snowboard is like $400 or something. Shit. Around there.
Well, you're riding around the resort just waiting for a confrontation all day.
Yeah.
Someone to come up and pick a fight with you.
I like it, and like we're just trying to do it in kind of a better way. that assumes to a little bit more, like, that works for a little bit more people, but still, of course, we want to be pumped on it as well, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, the new Lobster stuff is actually looking, like, way sicker than before, I would say.
You could do like the cartoons have done over the years and like sneak like secret little dirty stuff in that nobody else knows about, and it's just funny to you.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah.
That's a hard place. That's a hard position to be in, because you want a brand to be successful and appeal to people, but you also, like, you know, want it to mean something.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go too classy, you know? You gotta keep it real, but you gotta find, like, the balance of keeping it real and loose and, I don't know, and working on the same time. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a question about personal image. I can't ride like you. I've been trying to emulate you on a snowboard. It hasn't worked out. So what I did to compensate...
Why not?
I don't know, man. I don't know. What I did to compensate is I've grown a mustache recently.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
Yeah, and it's fucking awesome, but people look at me differently. Have you noticed people looking at you differently at all when you've got the mustache?
It's so crazy. People look at you differently, but I also gotta say, you feel different too.
Oh, it's like there's a caterpillar on my lip.
This new personality that had mustache on, kind of, when I got the mustache. I felt like a little bit different person, you know?
I feel like my uncle.
More like respectable.
Yes, 100%.
More distinguished.
Yeah.
More of a gentleman.
Exactly, man. It's weird.
Maybe that could be the special interest club, is being a gentleman. How polite.
That's a good idea, for sure.
Being polite and being a gentleman.
Shit.
Letting, like, things like encouraging people to go in front of you in the lift line.
No, man. I'm not really back now.
Well, just when you take turns, like, no, after you, I insist. Or letting people drop in, like, no, I insist, you go first.
No, that doesn't really sound too cool, to be honest.
Maybe that'll be like season 20 of the Special Interest Club. We're all a little older.
That's true, man.
Fuck them for now.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought about
in the future.
I just thought about it yesterday. I was in the store walking down an aisle, and this lady kind of had her head down in a cart, and then she looked up at me, and she looked down at her cart, and then she looked back up at me again, like eyes kind of like, she just said so much in her look up about, hey, you have a mustache. And there was this whole communication that we had just visually with the mustache that just kind of made me laugh.
Nice. Have you also noticed you kind of get like new poses when you're like doing photos and stuff?
Oh, no, I haven't had it that long yet.
No. Be ready for that too. It's pretty crazy. But I gotta say, I actually just shaved my mustache off now after 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you let it go.
And it feels so disgusting, actually. I feel so weird without it.
You're naked.
I know, and I feel like I went back, what's it called? Back in the future. Back in the past for 5 years or something.
Why did you do it?
Yeah.
I just thought, like, it's August, it's perfect timing, there's nothing really going on. I'm gonna try it just so I don't get like stuck with it for life, you know? So I was like, shit, I either do this right now or maybe like never. So decided to try it, but I instantly regretted it, actually. So I'm growing it again for sure.
I had a mustache in the winter. I'd always like grow it out for Movember, and then I'd like keep it a little bit for the winter, but then would like freeze to like face masks and stuff, you know?
Yeah, but you get used to it though, you know?
Yeah, I guess I didn't.
What is Movember? Is that a basketball thing or something?
It's a basketball thing. It's a big tournament.
Okay.
For people. No, it's like a. Do you know what Movember is, Halldór?
Yeah. I've been. I've done it a few times as well.
It's like it's like a charity thing, you know. It's like a challenge to grow a mustache and how thick you can grow it in a month, and then you raise money for like a men's health charity.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
something like that.
It's like an awareness thing too, like, oh, everyone's growing mustaches and like raising awareness for certain issues. It's like the ice bucket challenge.
Pretty much. Maybe a little bit more serious though.
A little bit more because you gotta grow a mustache.
Yeah, yeah. True.
So,
Yeah.
kind of changing the topic a little bit from mustaches.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you'd be open to talking about Nike a little bit, and I'll preface that with my Nike story, and I'll try and keep it short here. But when Nike snowboard boots came out, I put a pair on, and they were fucking amazing. This last time that Nike came to market anyways. I've been down with another snowboard boot company for a long time, and I didn't ride them just based out of my concern of Nike kind of dipping in and out of the market. But that said, just yesterday, I bought a pair for dirt cheap, brand new Kazus.
Nike pair?
Yeah, I bought a pair of Nikes for dirt cheap Kazus, just because there's always been that itch in the back of my mind about knowing how good that boot fit. Maybe I can spray paint the logo or something and run them next year. I don't know.
For sure, man. You should.
What are your thoughts on Nike having firsthand experience?
Man, that was pretty crazy actually. They hit me up pretty much after randomly winning X Games in 2010, which I had no idea or like never thought was even going to get close to doing that. I barely knew what X Games was when I did it, so that was really random.
And you got a perfect score. You barely knew what it was from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, and it wasn't even perfect either. That was the good deal for me. The trick I did it.
Oh, your trick?
Yeah.
I would say 2 double quirks. For that time, it was like insane.
Yeah, maybe. But it's pretty crazy to think that was insane in 2010. And then just like a year or two later, it's like already tripled even.
Sometimes it's hard to look back and be like, oh, this was, But yeah, at the time, I'm like, oh my God, look at this guy.
Yeah, okay.
He's perfect.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah. No. But anyways, so they hit me up and offered me a deal. And I had a list of questions that I asked them, like, all right, why do you want me on the team, for example? Like, I am not a serious person. I am not a contest person. I'm probably never going to win anything again. And I just wanted to make sure that they were, like, sponsoring me for the right reasons, so they weren't going to try and change me or whatever. And the first thing it said was just like, well, we saw, like, the thing that got me most pumped this year was your jerk flip in Hooked, the Pirates movie. So I was like,
good answer.
Okay, that's a good start at least, And then they were like, yeah, and we don't really care about you doing contests. I mean, we want you to do like maybe 4 contests or something in a year, and that's it. So I was like, all right, well, that sounds perfect. That's what I want to do anyways. And but I did ask him, like, so what's going to happen in 4 years when my contract is up and you guys decide to get out of snowboarding again?
Wow.
That was initially that was
up. Like, it's pretty crazy, but like, yeah, my DC team manager at the time, he said like, yeah, well, what are you going to do in 4 years? And so I decided to ask him that, and he was like, no, man. We're here to stay this time. Like, this is it. Like, we're all in now. So I was like, fuck, man. Like, all right, this sounds sick. And they had so many, like, good people that I really liked involved at the time. So I was like, well, shit, this is, all right, let's do this then, And, and then 4 years after my contract, boom, out of snowboarding again. Shit, I don't know. I honestly can say that I sold out, but it was just like such a good opportunity, and I don't regret that I did it at all. I had a great time, and like they did help me out so much. But just like it was such a weird thing, though, man. Like I never liked Nike as a brand, to be honest, and I actually was starting to like them. Like I was getting starting to be super down with them actually, like the brand, and I liked the stuff and everything. And then boom, 4 years, and it had been going so well. Like Nike Never Not, like Sage winning the Olympics. Like we were like, damn, all right, we should be good here, you know. Like, and then boom, we're out.
Yeah,
It's so random. It was like it happened like this. Like 2 months before my contract was out, just like, yeah, this is not happening anymore. Like, oh my god, man, classic.
How'd you find out? Was it already public knowledge, or they hit you up and say, "Hey, man, we're pulling out"?
They hit me up and we're like, all right, so there's gonna be some changes. We're gonna make the team a lot like smaller, so it's only gonna be like you plus like 2 or maybe 3 others, and we're just gonna focus on like you 4 guys or 3 guys even.
Yeah.
So and like, yeah, but you're all good. Like, don't worry. And they're like, all right, nice. And then 2 months before my contract, it was just like, yeah, this is not happening anymore. Sorry. But I mean, you know, it's a massive brand. Like they have, of course, these investors looking at the numbers, and if the numbers are not there, they don't really give a shit about what's been going down or what hasn't, you know. That's what I would assume. Like, I'm not claiming that I know everything how it went down, but that's how I would think, you know.
Well, that's the argument for companies that, you know, like a snowboarding company would be most of the time be hyped to break even or, you know, get by or whatever, because they're in it for snowboarding. They're in it for like,
that's always what we say as well. Like, if we don't go minus, like, fuck, we're pumped, man. As long as we can keep on doing this, like, we're pumped, you know?
Yeah, but a company that you're just investing in, that you don't care about that industry, it's like you want to see more money. That's it.
Got to keep the shareholders
like
happy.
Some guys, like, some shareholders, like, way up there that we're never going to meet ever, that just get, like, in the end of the year, like, a list with you know, snowboarding and maybe 2 million, and then skateboarding like 10 million or something. I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they just see the numbers, and if it's not there, then fuck you, you're out. Like, I'm just assuming here, you know. That's how I'm pretty sure it goes down, you know.
I was surprised, but not as surprised, not 100% surprised, but I worked at a shop in the time that carried the boots, and we sold the shit out of them. We sold them really, really well, even the limited $400 whatever ones.
Yeah.
And they had this big investment in, too. It seemed like the video was amazing. Like you said, Sage and the Olympics, it just seemed like they were almost at the peak of what it could be. And for me, the other thing was SB, the skateboard line. Different department, but similar thing. You know, you come in, you buy your way into the core shops, you get some of the most core skateboarders, you get some of the most core snowboarders, and they've stuck it out with SB. And I know they took a big, I don't know, but I've heard they took a big loss with SB for the first several years. And I thought it would be the same model for snowboarding, but apparently not. So, I mean, it's been burned by Nike before, so I wasn't totally surprised, but I was genuinely took me by surprise when it happened so quickly.
Yeah, man. I mean, this was also their 3rd time coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, and it just looked like they really had it on lock there. But maybe that's also another reason, because they were like, all right, we're at the peak here. We've been killing it. And then let's see how much we're making, you know? So they pretty much saw like maybe what their maximum of growth was going to ever be, pretty much, you know?
Yeah. That's a good point.
So, but I don't know. I'm just assuming some random stuff here, but that's what I think.
What are your boots today?
I've been riding 32 pretty much all season. Rode a little bit of flow boots and deluxe boots as well. And all boots are really good.
Yep.
Super down with them.
Which 32 boot do you like, the Lashed or Team 2?
The Team 2.
Yeah.
Like they take me a little bit to get used to, but like after I get used to it, I was super down with it.
Yep.
Do you think sometimes like maybe a company like Nike or an outside source looks at snowboarding and sees it in all these different big media places and thinks it's way bigger than maybe it really is?
I think so for sure. And Yeah, I think so for sure, man.
Yeah, because that could have been part of their downfall. Is
Yeah.
like, oh, snowboarding, look how big snowboarding is. And then you get down to it, it's like, this is what it really is.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not a, it's a pretty, yeah, it's a pretty small, cool community, actually.
Yeah, I almost like it more. I mean, it's cool when it's more tight knit, I think.
I think I'm down with that as well.
I kind of bum some people out from time to time because there's so many people that have these initiatives to get more people into snowboarding, whether it be like a Hoods to Woods thing that was going on in New York or the Burton programs. And I'm kind of like, I don't care. If people are going to like snowboarding, let them like it.
Yeah.
Don't push people into it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. But it's the hard thing with snowboarding now is, it's a pretty high class thing to do almost now. Like buying a full kit is not cheap nowadays. And not talking about like going buying a ticket for the resort. It's like $100 or something nowadays.
I used to think that. I used to think that too. And then I got into some motorcycle racing a little bit. I dabbled into it. And that's a whole nother level. I mean, the bike is a cheap used bike, depending on what you're doing, you're $5,000. And then you have crazy maintenance. And then every time you go to a track day, that's $120. So, and then you talk about guys that do. Oh yeah. So, and then there's people with boats and people that do car stuff. I used to think that too, but I mean, in reality, you can maybe make the investment on a snowboard and go hike, and you're pretty good.
That is true. That is true for sure.
I guess when you compare it, it's easy to compare it to skateboarding or even surfing, and those are essentially like you can almost skate anywhere. And once you have that initial investment, it's pretty low cost to do. And even, surfing, like a surfboard is pretty expensive. It's like as much as a snowboard, but it's rare to pay to go on a beach,
Yeah. For sure. And that's kind of, I feel like a lot of people always compare it to skateboarding, snowboarding,
Yeah.
And, but that is actually really true. Like, just like us growing up in Iceland and stuff, like all we needed was the snowboard gear, bindings, boots, and the snowboard. And then we could just go outside the house and snowboard whatever was outside, You don't have to have like a perfect park or like massive resort or whatever to be able to snowboard, actually.
Kind of shifting gears again. You mentioned the X Games earlier. You had a super gnarly crash a couple years back and you hit your head. Could you maybe walk us through that? Like, what do you remember and how was it after that?
Man. I was going for the triple jerk flip. I wanted my first triple to be a triple backflip while like jerking off in the air. I like always on X Games, I never really practiced on jumps or anything before. I was like filming street stuff like a week, like up until there was like 10 days until X Games or something. And then I would try and figure out a jump somewhere to maybe try something. So I was always pretty unprepared and kind of loose on X Games. And, but yeah, I just got so knocked out. But I remember everything. I even remember being in the air and everything. And then I just got like, oh shit. I just got really, really knocked out.
What were you thinking when it started to over-rotate and that third one started to turn into the fourth one?
Man, I had no idea what I was doing, to be honest. I just sent it and like kind of hope it was going to work out like I do a lot of the times. But I just felt like, okay, this is too much. And then boom, straight on the head, got knocked out, woke up in the ambulance. But I even like put my arm up on the way out. I don't even remember doing that. But I just woke up in the ambulance and then spent the night at the hospital. And then the next day, I was just so stupid during that time, like, you know, feeling that like I was like, what's it called, like immortal or something, like I could do whatever, like I wouldn't ever like kind of get injured, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or I never want to believe that I was injured, you know? And had injury. I was just like, fuck, I can walk, I can do everything. Like, I'm fine, you know? So straight away, next day after the crash, I started like I went partying like the next day, like drinking RV juice and just being stupid, you know? And yeah, okay. If I'm gonna take you guys through the whole story how it went down, like, should I do that or?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So yeah, I went partying the next day after the crash. The next morning, I'm like, okay, I'm not allowed to snowboard for like 2 weeks or something. So let's drive to LA for a friend of ours, Tyler Nixon, who was a porn star. He was we hooked him up with lobster boards and all the stuff that we have or from all our companies. And he was doing like a shoot in LA, like a threesome with Xart, with Lexi Bell and stuff. So we're like, yeah, fuck, we got nothing to do. Let's just drive down there. Drove like for 28 hours or something in an RV down there to go to the shoot. Met up with them, partied one night, and then drove back to Denver the next day for like another 28 hours. And partied there for 4 days. And then I went to Iceland after the SIA. Party there and got my visa for Russia because we were going to film rails for Never Not. And started snowboarding straight away and filming rails there for 2 weeks. And during all that time, I was feeling so weird, but like didn't say anything or like tell anybody. I was just waiting that it was going to, you know, pass. Like, I couldn't focus on anything. Like, if I would look at something, it would, like, start, like, moving, kind of. So everything that I was looking at or trying to focus, it would start, like, twisting. I was just like, fuck. I mean, all right, let's keep it going. Like, try and, I was just hoping that it was going to go away. After the Russia trip, I went to Austria and filmed Pau there for, like, a week. And then got back to Iceland for a contest, and then there I just like, fuck this, I can't do this anymore. Like, just like crashed, like completely, like, I don't know. I just got like some kind of like panic attack or something. I was just like, fuck, this is not getting better at all. It's only getting worse. I was just like, fuck, what is going on? Like, it was the first time I ever had anything like kind of like serious happen, you know? So it's like, after that, I had to like fully chill for 6 months, get my brain like all scanned. Like my agent Christopher hooked me up with like a really good brain sports guy in London, and he checked it out. He said it was all good. I just had to take it easy for like, you know, half a year at least.
What did he see specifically? Was there like swelling or like brainstem loose or anything?
It was still just really swollen. Swollen because I didn't rest at all after like that heavy knockout. You know,
dude, how did you hide that from all those people you were with the whole time? Nobody caught on to that at all? That you were different?
No, I think I pretty much hit it really well, actually. But I mean, not that it's a good thing, but
no.
So when I was snowboarding, it was so weird, especially after the Russian trip. It was getting even worse, and during when I filmed all the power for my Never Not part, I was just like, fuck, man, like trying to look at the jump, and it was just like fuck, this is so weird. I like can't focus on it, you know, and that's a nasty feeling when you snowboard.
Yeah.
And so I always in my head, I was just like, all right, I know how to snowboard. Just put on autopilot, drop in. You know what you're doing, and just and it worked out well. So
wow,
I at least filmed my full part, which I'm really pumped on. afterwards. But I should have obviously taken this stuff more serious. But I mean, it's just something. No, like you gotta learn it at some point, and that's when I had to learn it. Like, fuck, I gotta listen to my body a little bit more, and just not be too stupid all the time.
Did you do the big backflip roof gap in Never Not? Was that after your injury?
No, that was before. That was before.
Oh, that was before. But
yeah.
You still had like a neck brace on, right?
Yeah, I cracked my neck like shit. Well, it was like 3 days before. Like I got like a sprain or whatever it's called in my neck. Yeah, I'm not good at listen to the body and take it easy when I get injured. I never want to believe that I'm injured. You know what I mean? I always want to keep on going until I can't go anymore.
I mean, do you put a lot of pressure on yourself to like, oh, I gotta perform? Or is there anyone else ever saying like, hey man, we need you to do this?
I never felt any pressure like that at all. It's all stuff that I want to do myself. Like the roof gap, for example, like I had been looking at it for like 3 years before, and it's been like in my head for so long, I was just like, I really do not put much pressure on myself. But after my crash at X Games, and then when I actually crashed down, like in April, when I like couldn't do anything anymore, then I could say that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. I don't know why. Like I'd never done it before, but I was just like feeling like I had to prove myself somehow. And that was the first time I ever felt that. So I don't know.
So you've been trying to listen to your body a little bit more since this. Have you done anything else? Has there been any other lesson or takeaway?
I'm actually recovering from a broken ankle right now. So I broke my ankle in 1st of May at Super Park. And I was actually really happy when I heard that, because I usually get knocked out or like tear a ligament or something like that takes forever. But then the doctor, of course, told me like, yeah, you broke like the worst bone in your ankle. It takes 3 months to heal the bone itself, and then you have to like do rehab for 3 more months after that. So I'm just starting to walk now. Just was allowed to walk 2 days ago. So
you've been running like a little trike setup, right?
What's up? Yeah, exactly. Damn, those things are probably like the best invention that the U.S. has done. we don't have that. It's so nice. Like people are so jealous at me here in Europe, man.
Because you brought it from the United States.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's such a smart thing, I gotta say. It makes your life as like when you break your ankle or whatever, like makes your life so much easier. You can actually do stuff, and you're like actually faster than when you walk in real life. So it's pretty chill.
Do you bomb any hills with it?
Yeah, I was getting good at it, man. I was like sending it on that thing.
Taking it to the skate park.
Yeah, I did. I had it in the skate park. I was cruising in the bowls a little bit on it. And stuff
no!
Like yeah. It's so much sicker than the damn crutches or whatever it's called. But yeah, I'm happy though. Now I don't need crutches or that tricycle anymore, so I can finally walk again.
You can put full weight on it?
Yeah, kinda. But I still walk really weird, and like I have no muscle in the calf or whatever it's called, but it's coming back.
Yeah.
I'm just rehabbing now again.
Yep. Stair raises and ankle rolls and all that stuff.
Yeah. Slowly. Just gotta stay patient, I guess.
So you worked on an interesting film project recently that's going to be distributed a little bit differently than traditional snowboarding films, right? Could you speak about that a bit?
Yeah, pretty much. Me and Sage and Joe Carlino are doing a project together called Dayumm. And it's going to be released full movie, like around 20 minutes for free online, 24th of October. And It's gonna be released on the X Games YouTube and the Monster Energy YouTube's page. And then we're doing like a full TV show with ABC World of X as well. So, and then we're releasing full parts after that as well. So it was a really good time. Like I kind of felt like I needed to change it up a little bit from sexual snowboarding and ride with new people, and this was sounded like the perfect opportunity.
Being that this is going on TV, were there times that they were like, oh, we can't have that in the video? You know, did you do stuff that was kind of edited?
Well, like being naked and stuff like that, or
exactly.
Yeah. No, it was sick because Joe Carlino got like the full. He got the full control over the TV show as well.
Oh wow!
So it was mellow. Like we were in control of everything ourselves.
So are there going to be some black boxes over some naked bodies on this ABC premiere? Can you say?
We'll see. I don't wanna spoil it. You know?
Who's got the bigger black box?
Yeah, that's also. I don't want to spoil that stuff. You know, that's we'll see.
Awesome.
What's the gnarliest thing you've done naked on a snowboard? Was it bombing the volcano?
Yeah, you seen that one? Damn, nice. This is actually pretty classic. The bombing down the volcano was the day after I sprained my neck. So I was just making sure that I could actually ride, and I was able to
test it out.
Yeah, and I was able to ride naked down the volcano. So I was like, this backflip should be mellow then too, you know.
You have an interesting training regimen.
Yeah, that was the day before the backflip actually. And yeah, I think that's my most impressive naked riding so far. But
so far,
we'll see what happens.
When was the first time you rode naked?
Shit, I don't know. Probably some point during the snowboard school in Sweden. I think was the first time.
You weren't even out of high school, and you're rolling naked in school, basically.
Yeah, we're Icelandic, like Europeans. We're not afraid to be naked, you know. It's classic.
You'd go to jail in the U.S. for getting naked in school.
Yeah. I wasn't naked in school, but during that time. I mean, I went.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was not naked in school. No. I wasn't that.
Were people like, when you were like a kid or first getting naked snowboarding, even now, are people like, oh, like they don't care at all, or they react in any way?
No, they don't really care. I mean, people like, at least like the group of people that I hang out with are just like think it's funny, you know. We're down with the naked riding and all that stuff.
I remember the first time I went to like a beach in Europe, and like the women are topless, or you know, pretty standard, and it was like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. Like, this is different than America for sure.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. I feel like the U.S. is kind of afraid of being naked a lot of the times.
We've been shamed. It's our Puritan roots. They shamed us.
They were change that up, you know. Gonna work on that.
The Native Americans, like, you know, First Nations or whatever, were like, I think they were down, and then the fucking Puritans came here and ruined all that. They had a party. Ruined that shit.
Oh, shit.
Hashtag free the nipple.
Yeah.
So I think they had a good thing going here. We could start that.
Yeah.
Hashtag best naked snowboarding gets a free snowboard. Not from.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a good idea actually for Lobster, to be honest. Could be a perfect contest.
I guess it's got to be 18 and over though. You can't have like you go to jail.
Yeah, that's true.
I used to work at Wendell's for a couple of years, and it wasn't anything like that. But if a kid made out with a ski racer, they'd get a free pair of goggles. Was like,
yeah.
And I saw that happen. Like, I was on the chairlift, and my camper behind me made out with a ski racer. and I didn't realize it was him. I was like, oh damn, he's going in. I got to the top. I'm like, that was you? Like, oh my boy. And I had to give away the award, and I couldn't say what it was, like in the closing thing. So
Yeah.
I saw this camper. He saved a girl's life today. He gave her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and he'll get these goggles for saving a life. And all these kids are like, damn, you saved that girl's life?
Sick.
Awful life.
Oh, that's classic.
So yeah, man, I'm saying naked snowboard trick gets a free lobster board, or
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'll make
or
it
maybe
happen.
a 7-9-13 belt that they can cover themselves with.
Yeah.
Shoelace belt. Where is the shoelace?
A full-on thong, just with a belt.
Thong. Are they is 7-9-13 coming out with thongs? Is that next?
Maybe in the future, man. It's kind of making a full-on like restart with 7-9-13. So we'll see. We'll see. So
maybe there's a way for Atrip to sell a naked kit. It's like $50. You click on it, it's delivered immediately, and you're naked. Maybe that was a stretch.
Air guitar. Right?
Air guitar. Special interest club item. Very exclusive.
Sick.
So
that's another good actually.
We got
attachment in this newsfeed from Atrips is now going to be an air guitar that you get with the email.
Yes.
There you go, people. Sign up today.
Yeah.
Air guitar delivered. I'm a rock star.
That's an awesome bonus. So kind of
got ideas, man. We could brainstorm all day.
Hell yeah.
Kind of shifting back to business. What was it like? What was it like when you first told your sponsors that you're going to do a board company?
That was actually the really nice thing with Nike that I forgot to say, that they were so pumped on me doing Lobster. They were like really, really supportive, and without Nike, I would have never had the chance to make Lobster or make any of the things that I'm doing right now, pretty much. So I have a big thanks to Nike for backing me on all that stuff.
So there was no resistance from any of your sponsors?
They were so down with it, so that was cool. So they made it possible for me to start it up. So with Eiki, my brother.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that are entrepreneurs or that have that idea, like they hold themselves back by being concerned about what their current situation, the people involved with them, will think of them making this change. And here you made the change, and you're like welcome with open arms. Like, yeah, do that. Fucking cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I could have been lucky with the whole situation that we were in, but but it worked out well, and I'm so pumped on how all that went down.
Who do you look up to in business? You know, who have you kind of, are you trying to like model your businesses after anybody? Do you have anyone that you think of as like a mentor, or someone that you like, I'm kind of doing what he did, or are you just doing your own thing?
Kind of just doing my own thing with my brother, to be honest, right now. But so I don't know. Like, it's hard to claim like a full-on mentor, but I'm just always been like super down with like, I don't know, more core brands, you know. So I thought this was like the perfect opportunity to try and do something. And I also gotta say, like, because we were really lucky with how everything went down with Lobster. We did it with Low Pressure Studios. Mm-hmm. They already had Battalion, White Gold, and so like I could honestly say I would never go like full on into like a new business without having like pretty much the business guys. You know what I mean? I'm not a business guy at all, and I don't really want to be a full on business guy right now because my main focus still is just on my own snowboarding, you know? So we were really lucky with getting the opportunity to starting a brand with with Low Pressure Studios that already knew the business. They have the distribution, they have the, the factory, they have everything on lock already. So that's a huge difference, you know?
So maybe to my question, it's not so much about a mentor, but just surrounding yourselves with the right business people.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. Like getting involved with the right people is really, really important.
Having the good team backing you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one
you gotta
question.
make sure you start your thing up. If you're not gonna do it from scratch, that you find the right people to do it with, and like we did it, the snowboards with Low Pressure Studios, and then Atrip with Stigma Distribution, and then 7913. We started off with my agent's company, The Kink, but now Beat Nuts, the biggest like distribution company in Europe, took over their part. So it's kind of a relaunch on all with everything with 7913 now as well.
Nice.
So yeah, man. That would be my advice. Like, if you're not like a full-on business expert, at least, and we still think it's really important that we are able to focus on the snowboarding. You know,
that's what's at the core of all your businesses, right? Is snowboarding.
Exactly,
snowboarding
man.
First. I mean, you said it before. I don't care if we break even. If we can do this thing and break even, then we'll do it.
Exactly, man. That's it's been our motto since the beginning, and it's always going to be that way. You know.
One question we ask a lot of podcast guests is if you could go back and give your 18-year-old self advice, what would you say to yourself? It's kind of deep and introspective, I know.
I thought about that, actually. And I would say do exactly what you've done so far, to be honest.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I don't know. Some people would say I party too much or whatever like that, but I don't. I had so many good memories and good times by doing that. And I never wanted to be serious in my snowboarding, you know. As soon as I feel like I'm starting to be serious or too serious about snowboarding, I'm like, fuck, all right, you got to back out a little bit here. It's only snowboarding that you're doing here. Like, remember, it shouldn't be serious. Do it, like, for the fun of it. And, yeah, just enjoy it.
Where does that kind of thought about snowboarding come from? I think that a lot of the generation that you're a part of in snowboarding is more serious.
Yeah, but I just never been pumped on that. And I fully grew up only watching snowboard movies. I'm probably the least competitive person you could ever find. So contest and being serious about getting first place or last place, I do not care about that. For me, for contest, for example, my mindset was like this: like, I go there, I get the opportunity to ride like really sick park, and hopefully send it, try something new, and as long as I survive, I'm pumped. You know, doesn't matter if I get first or last place.
Hell yeah!
So I always been like, yeah, kind of just being careful of keeping it not too serious.
So on that point, we just talked to your brother, and when we were wrapping up, we asked him if there were any questions that we should ask you. And he thought about it for a little while, and then he said, well, and he was kind of laughing. He says, ask him, how does it feel to copy me all the time?
Oh, shit. That's a good question, man. Fuck, Eiki has been, obviously my biggest inspiration of all times. And I've always... every single thing that he's done, I've always tried to do that as well. Like, since way back. Like, for example, when he was kind of the smart, talented one, you know, and I was the kind of the asshole that was trying to be the same. And so just from the beginning, like, he was making like cat traps, like catching like wildcats and stuff like that at home in our farm. So like really thinking that out, I tried to do that as well. I had no chance of getting any cats. And then like what's it called? Like long jumping and like that sport, you know, like running and all this shit. What's that called?
Yeah, like long jump, I think.
Wait,
yeah, track and field.
Athletics or track and field.
So like in our school, like the coach like got Eiki to only compete for their team because like he was just good at it from the start without even practicing. And since he asked Eiki, I got to follow with. But Eiki got like the world, like Icelandic record, for example, for his age when he did that, and I got last place and everything I did. I once got second to last, and I was so pumped on that actually. and then the skateboarding and the snowboarding came in, and then I just started trying that as well. And I don't know, I always just looked up to him and like tried to keep up with him. And he's always been on like a different level, so it's it's pretty much all thanks to him that I'm able to do what I'm doing right now.
It's got to be amazing to have a brother who's also like your, I would venture to guess and say best friend, who's also down to be like your riding partner all the time.
Definitely, man. And that was also like a big thing with Lobster and stuff as well, was being able to ride more with Eiki, and that was kind of a solution to that as well at first.
Oh, to be on the same team.
Yeah, be on the same team and like being able to film more together, because we both push each other in a really good way. So, which is cool now as well with Atrip. Like he's on Horse Feathers, which is their original clothing company, and so now he's backing that, and so we figured out like this could be a good way for us to build something new as well. So we did Atrip with me, and he's on Horse Feathers, and kind of a small connection there as well, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we start to wrap it up here, I want to circle back kind of to the beginning and come back to Captain Harold a little bit. What is a Bird Bath Nuts? What does that mean to
you? Where did you hear that?
I don't know. I've had this weird dream last night about some long balls and some vodka or something.
Yeah, man. The Helgason balls are like famous, you know, for being lazy. Mad loose, you know. So,
famous.
No, but so a bird bath is it's actually kind of a Swedish invention. But so you take your balls and make like a small like a bird bath, you know, a small bowl out of your ball sack. And then you pour tequila in there, and then you pour it into someone's mouth. And because like you're probably pretty sweaty on your balls from like dancing or like doing stuff, then you don't need the salt when you do the tequila shot, you know? I recommend you guys should try it.
You do this in the club?
I used to. I was really, like when we started doing it, it got out of hand, man. It was like a queue of people like waiting in line to get a bird bath shot, pretty much.
Friends or just strangers?
Friends and strangers, man. It was like a big thing.
You said you should have charged admission.
Yeah.
Bars could start doing that. It could be
I know, man. Imagine
body
it's
shot.
For real. It's sick. But it's actually Coach, you know Coach Thunder.
Oh,
it's
I know.
like his friend that pretty much made the first one, I guess.
Was that just to troll the X Games? Like go to Coach Thunder to go to the X Games and just like were there other coaches there that were like super serious and he's like in the trench coat and like
that's why we did it. It was only because of all the serious coaches there. It's like it's no joke anymore, man. It's a full on sport nowadays with the contest scene. And that's why we got like brought in Coach Thunder just to fuck with everything.
I love it.
So
I love it.
It's like it's way too serious now, the contest scene, you know, especially the contest scene. So I was not down with that, and that's why we brought in Coach Thunder with a flask. And
do you think there's just more money, so people are investing more and like taking every advantage, or why do you think there's just way more serious?
I think it's mainly because of the national teams, to be honest.
Oh,
like like the people are on a national team and they're like following a full-on like training program. Like throughout the summer, they like train every day, like twice a day or something crazy. Like some of the countries even, and like you can just see it on like some of the riders' style as well. That you can see that they learn their tricks kind of through the same guys, so it all looks kind of exactly the same. Like the riders, I'm not like blaming anyone, but I'm just saying like to me, it looks like they learned after some program how to do the tricks, some of the tricks. So a lot of it looks really similar, and I don't know. I just don't fact that that kind of progression in snowboarding.
It's like someone that doesn't do that stands out now, whereas like everyone else kind of looks like it's amazing, it's insane, but it's hard to be unique and stand out because they're all kind of doing the same stuff and look the same way. So now if someone does it differently and has a different approach, like I've always been like, oh my God, like, all right, like this person's way sicker. Like I don't care about whatever result or what, it's like, it's always how you do something and not what you're doing.
No, but it's like the main problem that I think is that contest only rewards the technical part. There's nothing else. You know? It's only like do as hard trick as you can on every single feature. You know what I mean? Like they don't reward like being creative or doing something unique that nobody else than you is doing, or just riding like style, like better style than somebody else or something like that. Like it's only the technical part that matters in contests, and I don't really like that. But it's just the progression of things. And it's hard to hate on progression because it's always going to happen, and it's happening in not only snowboarding, it's happening in every single thing right now. Motocross, like skiing, skateboarding,
BMX. I just saw a BMX video last night that blew my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. I was looking at something as well. It was insane.
Harry Main or whatever.
I think that was it.
Someone else. Or no, Mark Webb.
Mark Webb, that was it. 100%. Yeah. He's like doing flips, rolling off the ramp to get his setup trick is like a flip into it. That's a setup.
Yeah. I was watching that, man. It was insane. Yeah, I mean, even like just porn, like everything is progressing, so you can't really hate on progression.
Virtual reality porn.
I like my favorite is POV porn because I like to feel like I own a nice couch.
Yeah. I agree. Me too, man. And like that's why you got to step it up to the virtual reality porn. That's the next level stuff,
I think the times I've used virtual reality, I didn't want to go back to regular reality. So if I get virtual reality porn, that's it, man. You ain't hearing from me for a while.
That's dangerous. It's dangerous, actually.
Man,
do you shred with your buddy that does porn?
Sorry, there's something going on in the speaker or something. Do you guys hear that?
Yeah, I hear too.
Construction here. Can you hear it? Am I still? Satellites, aliens, still fucky.
No, but go back to the snowboard thing. Like, I just don't like how it's a coach, a team, and just so serious. It's like everything that I was against when I went, and like that I was against, and that's why I liked snowboarding from the start, because there was no like full on like teams or coaches telling you what to do. It was just like you can do whatever you want. But like speaking of that, like just because the contest riding is kind of changing a little bit doesn't mean that the other stuff isn't like cool anymore, Just because new things are coming in, the old stuff is not gonna die out, So is there.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that stuff is still really cool to see. Like I don't.
Yeah, it's definitely, man. It's insane how impressive it is. Like I could never do the stuff those guys are doing at contests nowadays. It's so crazy how good they are.
I mean, I totally respect it. It's just not like my favorite. Yeah. It's not my favorite thing to see. It's
exactly. Same here.
I'm still interested, but I'm just like, oh, this is it. This is the pinnacle for me.
Yeah, same here.
So, man, Halldor, I think we need to wrap this up, and what I'll ask is, do you have any advice for a snowboarder that's coming up, maybe someone that looks up to you, that wants to make their way in snowboarding?
I would pretty much just tell him to go snowboarding, have fun, try your best. Don't expect or don't try and get sponsored or whatever. If you get good enough and you enjoy it enough, that stuff will follow with you. So yeah, just enjoy it while you can.
And have an alternate ego.
Yeah, yeah, obviously, man.
Yo, I want to ask you before we wrapped up, do you still celebrate your birthday with your friends? Like have to land a trick? Or they have to take...
Like, that was actually just a one-time thing. I just claimed it as a every-time deal, but that was actually just the one scene in our famous movie, Ass to Mouth.
Yeah. Who came up with that? Was that you or?
I don't know. Like, it was just the group effort, you know, our friends. It was kind of just like, you know how it is when you have your friends. It always levels up.
I don't have friends quite like that.
For people that don't know, I can describe it. So essentially, they had to land. 4 of your friends had to land a trick, right?
Yeah.
What was the trick?
I was just like pretty much like frontal blunt to 70 out, and it was just like a game of skate, pretty much, you know.
Okay, so they had to do that, and the later they landed the trick,
yeah,
the worse their punishment got. So the first kid had to take a dildo and like lick it, right?
Yeah.
And then the second...
And he ate like chili before.
Oh, he ate chili?
Yeah.
So he had this chili spit-covered dildo.
Yeah.
Shoved it, and so the second dude had to shove it up his ass.
Yeah.
So he's got chili in his ass.
And then the third guy had to like smell it, and then the last guy had to like ass to mouth it.
Oh.
It was intense. That movie, like, I wasn't even allowed to go to the Olympics for Iceland after that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, they'd be dying to have you in the Olympics, but they were like, nah.
They were pissed off after that one. But then I told them that I was going to do it for Monaco instead, because I'm actually like living in Monaco, you know?
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
And then they came back to me like, or like, no, okay, all right, you can do it.
Wait, did you go to the Olympics?
No. I mean, I did the qualification. It was kind of a deal I had with that was in the Nike contract as well, that I would at least try.
Oh, you'd try.
So me and Ethan Morgan went there and weren't even close to making it. So, But it was a good time. But we had a good time though.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I'm still just like, I'm gagging a little bit thinking about your birthday party.
You can watch the movie. It's still online.
Oh, I've seen it.
A2M on the Barf Bag.
Barf Bag crew.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. This was fucking awesome. This was really fun.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Keep up with all of Halldor and Eiki's projects at thehelgasons.com. And if you like this episode, please do us a huge favor and take 2 minutes and review it on iTunes or share it on your social media. Finally, thank you so much for supporting all of our sponsors, Shred Soles Snowboarding and Skateboarding Insoles, Let It Block Sunscreen, and Custom Cult Snowboards. Oh, and if you're wondering, I shaved the mustache. Until next week, peace and keep it loose.